I found this really cool image of a building that has a circular shape but a wavy roof on top. And this is quite an interesting challenge to model something like this in Revit, and that's what we're going to be doing in today's video. Let's go. Now, quickly before I jump into Revit, I just want to ask you to check out my website, balkanarchitect.com. I'm going to link it up in the cards above and then also down in the description of this video. We are an Autodesk authorized training center and we offer over 150 hours of Revit courses. So if you're interested in mastering Revit, that's the best place to be. Now, without any further ado, let's jump straight into Revit. And while we're here in Revit, I first want to take a look at the image just to explain what I'm going to be doing. So because it has this interesting shape, I thought why not create a spline on the outside and then a spline on the inside and just connect those. And well, Revit doesn't allow me to do so. So what we need to do is we need to actually break this down into multiple pieces that we can then copy around. So I thought, why not start with an eighth? So just 1/8 of this shape, which is basically this kind of S curve. And then what we'll do is we're just going to mirror that to the other side and then copy it 4 times in an array in order to get the entire shape. So let's do that. I'm just going to move this out of the way and then let's get started. For this, I'm just going to use the annotation lines in order to mark out the shape of the building, and then we'll model the walls later on. So what I'll do here is I'll just use detail line, and then for just using a circle for our building, for the inside, I'm just going to use a 5-meter radius, and then for the outside, a 20-meter radius, and then I'll just use an offset of, let's go with 1000 millimeters here on the inside, and then 2000 millimeters on the outside, because I do want to have a bit of an overhang for this roof. Okay, so once we have this in place, then let's go here to massing inside and then go to show mass, turn that on, go to in place mass, click OK, and we're here. Now, because I said I want to model this as 1/8 of the shape, I need to define that here. So I'll just use a reference plane. RP is the shortcut. I'm going to go here from the center at a 45-degree angle like this, and then I'm going to get that 1/8 of the shape, which is just going to be this. Now let's model the spline, which is going to help us create the shape. So for that, you want to use the spline through points, so not the spline, just a regular one. Do not use this one, use this one, because it allows you to then move the points in 3D. Here we can just go with drawn face, doesn't really matter, and then let's go here on this line. So we're just placing points on this line, and then we're just going to have a few. I'm just going to start off a bit narrow at first, and then we can widen it out through the middle and then have a few more points at the edges. This is just going to help us create the shape better. Hit the escape key once. Now let's repeat the same thing here on the outside. So let's just go from here. Again, kind of keeping it close at first, and then we can widen it out and then keeping it close here as well. Hit the escape key a couple of times. There we go. I also want to make sure that these points are aligning with the reference plane here and here, just so I know that I'm not accidentally making it bigger or smaller than it needs to be. So let's just use the align tool. AL is the shortcut, and just align this with that. This here. Then let's repeat that here, and then here as well. Perfect. Okay, so once we have everything in place, let's now open up the 3D view, and this is what that looks like. Now, I'm actually going to be modeling or moving things around here, which is going to be in level 1, and then we can move it both up just to have it up. Now, I'll first select the entire line here, hold the shift key, and then remove the line from selection, so we just have the points selected. Then you go here to properties and you search for driven by host and you uncheck that, hit apply, and now as you can see we can move these points in 3D. Here where we have not done that, as you can see the points look like this, so they're kind of useless for moving them in 3D. So these are good, these are not so good, so let's fix these as well. Again, you select the whole thing, hold the shift key, remove the line from selection, and then you just uncheck this parameter, hit apply, and yeah, we're done. Okay, so now let's create that S shape or S curve. So select this, let's move it up, and then this one we can perhaps move down a bit, just like so, and then we can just gonna keep moving these up, just like that. This one can kind of stay in the middle, and then move these down. It's kind of going to look weird at specific points, but that's okay. So it does take a while to get a hang of this, but then once you do, it's going to be easier. So there we go, starting to look a bit better. This one we can move down more. This one definitely more down. Okay, we're getting there. So I'm just going to fast forward this a little bit so you don't have to kind of look and see each movement of the point. So now it's looking pretty clean. I really like this. So I'm just now going to zoom in on this one. You can perhaps orbit it around, and then we're just going to be repeating the same entire process. Again, I'm just fast forwarding this because it's quite repetitive. And this is the result that we then have. So as you can see, we have these two 3D splines in space, and now we simply need to select one of these lines, hold the control key, select the other line, and then go to create form. And that's going to create a form that looks exactly like this. Then you hit finish mass, and it's going to, well, finish that mass. Then you go to architecture, you go to roof, and then here we have roof by face option in the drop menu. So you just click on that, and then I'm just going to select this shape and then click on create roof. Hit the escape key a couple of times. You can select the roof, you can make it thicker if you want. In some cases, it's not going to work, as you can see here. So sometimes for whatever reason, it's going to give you errors if the roof is too thick. I guess it cannot kind of shape it too much when it's too thick. So there we go. This is the end result. Now we just need to go to, let's go to the site plan like this so we can see that roof. And then we can, let's select the roof. So this is the roof. We can go here to a mirror, pick access, and then pick this one. So now as you can see, it goes all the way to the other side. Then I'm just going to make a cross selection like this, go to filter, and then just make sure that roofs is only checked on, hit OK. And then let's go to either rotate, or you can use mirror, whichever you prefer. Let's just go with mirror. I think it's going to be faster. So we just mirror it like this. Then again, we go mirror it like that, and then finally one more mirror like so. And then if I go to the 3D view, this is what we have. And as you can see, it looks perfect. It has that shape. Now here, obviously, we could modify this a little bit. It could be that it's a bit too steep here in the beginning, but yeah, that's fine. Now, in some cases, you will be able to join this properly. In some, you won't. So let's try this. Let's see if Revit is going to allow us to join these. So yeah, it's going to allow us to join, but it's not going to be a perfect join. Yeah, here it's going to give us errors. So it really depends on the shape, but again, it's going to keep these lines here. So if you're really annoyed with these lines, what you can do is you can just use the line work tool. LW is the shortcut, and then you can just use invisible lines in order to just hide those lines. And as you can see now, the shape looks much cleaner. If I turn this to shaded, yeah, it's going to look like that. Perhaps we can change the material later on and make it look a bit nicer. So I'm just going to go back to hidden line, and then what I'll do is go here to architecture. Yeah, looks really weird, but also really cool. So let's just go to architecture wall, and then I'm just going to use a curtain or storefront wall, use a circle here, and then let's make a circle like that, and then another one like this. Hit the escape key a couple of times, go to the 3D view. Oh, we have the issue where the roof is way too low. I said I'm going to move it up, and I didn't. So let's do that now. So first, I just want to go here to Mask Inside and turn off Show Mask so I don't move that. And then let's select the entire roof, and then I'm just going to give it a level offset of 8,000 millimeters just to move it up into position. Perfect. Select the curtain wall. Make sure to select both sides, so hold the control key, attach top, and then you need to go kind of wall by wall. And in some cases it is going to delete some elements, but yeah, as you can see, it's going to look like that. So then go to attach to this one, yeah, delete elements, perfect. Select this one, attach top to this one, perfect. Attach top to this one, and you're just kind of going around and attaching until you get the end result, which is going to look like this, and I think it looks really, really impressive. So this is a really quick way to create a really unique type of a roof in Revit. So I hope you have enjoyed this, and if you want to download this Revit project file as well as all of my other Revit project files, you can find that on my Patreon page. The link will be up in the cards above and then also down in the description of this video. Thank you for watching, guys. Make sure to check out my website, balkanarchitect.com, for more Revit courses. There I have over 120 hours of content, and I'm adding more each week. Make sure to subscribe for more videos, and also I've added a video over there that might interest you as well.